Hello, welcome back. Now we're going to work on power bases and level 5 leadership. We'll also talk about some leadership skills and some differentiation among those different types of skills. These are some of the different types of skills grouped into 4 different categories. I won't read to you, as I hope you're able to read these from this communication, but interpersonal skills, mostly getting along with people, engaging people, connecting with people, and especially communicating with people. Then we have a set of conceptual leadership skills, which really have to do with how do you filter through the information and get to the critical decision-making tools that you need as a leader. And then also understanding your team and the perception that they have of the different events around them. The third type of skills are technical skills. These can be very important in leadership, and in the case of the Barbershop Harmony Society, having leaders who have actually been engaged in the hobby and the craft, whether it's judges or directors or coaches or performers, can be a very special strength. Not necessary, not always absolutely required, but clearly can add a special strength. And then the last set of skills are tactical skills, having to do with really how you bring everything together, how you mesh all the information, take all of the perceptions you have about the team and the leadership team and the troops, the members themselves, and how you bring it all together and how you orchestrate that back into actual performance. We're going to talk about power bases, and then there are 2 specific types of power bases. I have my bias, and you'll see that as we go through this. Personal power bases, these are, because you do know what you're talking about, because you are considered to be expert in the topic or the subject matter and or referent, which means that just generally people like you and they want to do the types of things that they think you would approve of. Part of this is the credibility that goes along with completely understanding and being known as the person that people instinctively turn to for answers relative to the organization, and the other being your ability as a leader to engage people and to kind of get them to want to do the right things for the right reasons. This is taken from Society CSLT content. The organizational power bases, on the other hand, are formal, reward, and coercive. Again, you can probably guess which of these power bases that I tend to lean toward. Formal power base is, and hopefully you can read it, but this is because I'm your mother, that's why. Reward power bases is, how can you have any pudding if you won't eat your beets? And then coercive is, just wait till your father gets home. These are the traditional, old-style leadership power bases that many of our mentors and people that we grew up looking up to really used a lot more of these than they did the personal power bases. Again, it's for you to decide which is best, but my hand that I'm tipping to you is, which of these do you think works best for you? I'm in a very, very large organization with multiple high-level team members that have multiple expansive downlines, and you would think that that would lead me to utilize the formal power bases more, and that's just not the case. So my assumption is that at the very lowest level of smaller organizational leadership, especially with all volunteer organizations, we probably need to be using predominantly personal power bases. Again, I'll leave that as a discussion for you and your team. Level 5 leadership, and by the way, I've combined these 2 topics that were on the original list, but level 5 leadership really came to us as a result of science. Jim Collins and his team, in their book Good to Great, came up with this concept, and you know, one of the central cores, and there are a couple, is, you know, you have to have selflessness or humility as a leader, and then you combine that with an incredibly powerful commitment to the purpose of the mission, and then you can find some incredibly powerful things that come with that. The hierarchy of leadership as described by Collins and his team is, you know, at the first level you just have a very capable contributor, someone who's a member of the organization, who shows up, pays their dues, helps out when asked. The second level is you have that same type of person who works really well with others and can combine into 2 or 3 or 4 person teams to become a contributing team member, not just a contributing individual. At the third level, you have managers, competent managers who can coalesce these people and lead these teams to use the resources of the organization to accomplish tasks. These are very tactical managers here. Effective leaders then, you know, catalyze commitment and stimulate higher level performance, but really the effective leaders are the ones who are leading the lower level leaders. So leaders lead managers, managers lead teams, teams lead, and teams are made up of individual. Level 5 then is one step above just an effective leader. This is an incredibly effective leader who has the ability to build enduring greatness. And here's the formula. You take the right people, you put them with a leader who has a proper dose of humility and an incredibly strong professional will, and that leads to success. And again, this was proven, not just speculated, but proven by the case studies that were done in Good to Great. So here it is. You hire the right people or recruit the right people in the case of a church or a community foundation or a Barbershop Harmony chapter. You know, recruiting is significant, but you want to bring like-minded people in that can coalesce around your mission. You then take the talent that you have, and this is critical, you take the talent that you have and you deploy them into the right places where they can maximize their energies, where they can be energized by the work that they do, and where they can have successes that will drive them and motivate them to do more. This is what Jim Collins calls getting the right people on the bus here, and then getting them in the right seat on the bus here. And then the last one is you set a really high long-term goal. I mean a really big, hairy, audacious goal, as Jim Collins would say. And that then gives the team something to reach for, to come together as a team, and to strive for, and to work hard to attain. So here's your discussion question for this. Do you believe that in Level 5 leadership that the concepts of Level 5 can apply to a smaller organization? We talked about the 5 levels. Clearly, we need all 4 of those levels to make an organization run, but what about Level 5? And if they do apply, which of those concepts that we talked about in Level 5 leadership do you think would be most important for your organization?